Hello and welcome to this lesson on automatic blog article generator using Python and machine learning. In this lesson, you'll learn to perform text generation for creating automatic blog articles using the GPT-2 pre-trained model in just 3 lines of code with Python. GPT-2 is a large transformer-based machine learning model with 1.5 billion parameters trained on a dataset of 8 million web pages. This model has been trained with a simple objective. The goal is to predict the next word given all of the previous words within some text. So in order to leverage the power of the GPT-2 pre-trained model, first let us install the transformers library from Hugging Face, and that is done by running the command pip install transformers. So if you're in Jupyter Notebook right now, you can use the exclamation sign followed by the command which is pip install transformers to install the library. And in case you find it easier to install libraries using the command prompt or terminal, you can just write pip install transformers by excluding this exclamation sign over here. I won't run this command here right now since I've already installed the transformers library, but you can go ahead and install it in your machine by running this command. Now, once the transformers library has been installed, we need to import the pipeline function from the library. So here's the code for that. I'm writing from transformers import pipeline. This means I want to import the pipeline function from the transformers library. And the pipeline function or method is responsible for three different things. First, it preprocesses any raw text input we provide to our pipeline. So in this case, if we write a sentence, it converts that sentence to a numerical input for the pre-trained GPT-2 model. Then using that numerical input, it also performs modal inference. That is, it makes a prediction using the pre-trained GPT-2 model. So in this case, making a prediction means generating text. And finally, once the text has been generated, it also does some post-processing. That is, it converts predictions to a proper output that we can read. So let me run this and import the pipeline function. Okay, now that the import has been done, let's move on to actually using it. We can call the pipeline method and pass in two arguments in order to perform text generation. That's how easy it is. So first we have to specify the task parameter as text generation because we want to generate text using this pipeline. Then for the model, we want to use the GPT-2 model. That's why we specify GPT-2 over here. So this method over here creates a text generation pipeline for us, and that text generation pipeline gets assigned to the variable generator when this line is run. So I'll run this line, and one thing you have to note that is the GPT-2 pre-trained model is large in size. So it will take some time to download on your end, but since I've already run this line before, the model has already been downloaded and stored in my cache memory, so I don't have to re-download it again. And there, the text generation pipeline has been created. Now the final step is to actually generate text. So for this, we need to give a starting phrase or sentence to the text generation pipeline, which is the generator pipeline, and let the model generate relevant text of specified length. So over here, I'm writing generator, which is our pipeline, and in a set of parentheses, I'm passing in three parameters. The first parameter is our starting phrase or sentence. So this can actually be a word as well. So I'm writing it takes time to write a good blog post. So based off of this sentence, the machine learning model, which is GPT-2, will generate different text sequences for us. And the max length over here defines the length that we want to generate for a given text sequence. So I'm setting the max length to be 300, and this means that the text generated will have a maximum of 300 different characters. And finally, I'm setting the num return sequences parameter as 3, and this is to specify that I want to receive 3 different test sequences generated from the model. So if I run this line of code, our text generation will happen. So let me run it. Okay, we've generated some text over here, and if you look closely, we have 1, 2, and 3 different text sequences generated. So let's have a read at what has been generated. So the first characters in the generated text is always our input, And let's start reading from there. So it takes time to write a good blog post. /n means a new line, and it says, I would appreciate any further comments or suggestions. If anyone has a project that is really easy and can be replicated across multiple browsers, please do it here. I just love those. This sounds like the end paragraph of a blog post, and it's quite relevant. So it takes time to write a good blog post. I would appreciate any further comments or suggestions. That is actually quite good. And you can keep reading this, but let's move on to the second text that has been generated. So the second text says, it takes time to write a good blog post. I'm tired of writing a lot of stupid things, and I want to make that work for everyone. If I'm going to make a good blog post, that means I need help, not just in the form of a little text post, but in its entirety. Okay, this is way good than what I had anticipated. And most of the times, remember that this is a machine learning model, so it can give very weird sentences over here, such as in the previous text generation, it says that I plan to use Firefox for iPad for the first time. So this is in no way related to what we had given as an input, but still, like if you read this one, it sounds pretty good. Now let's look at the final text generation over here. So it takes time to write a good blog post. It takes some work, but it's worth it. And there's the one thing that the internet does really well. It's making people talk. Okay, this also sounds really good. And this is how easy it is to perform text generation using Python and machine learning. So remember, you have other parameters over here as well. So if you change the max length to 1500, you may get a text sequence with 1500 different characters. That's like an actual blog post, and you can use it in your blog if it actually makes sense, or you can take out parts from the generated text, or you can just use it as an inspiration. And also num return sequences gives you the number of return sequences that you receive, and in this case it's set to 3, so we're getting 3 different text generated, but you can set it to 10, 20, whatever you like. And that is it for this lesson on automatic blog article generator using Python and machine learning with just 3 lines of code.